Hey everyone, this is Kelly Janae with Ethereal Ecology, and I'm chilling here at the Floyd Yoga Jam in Floyd, Virginia, well, outside of Floyd, Virginia, with my bestest friend ever, LeNora Edwards.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. What's up? And we're super chill right now. I mean, we just had a really heated conversation about how pissed off we are at the state of, not necessarily the state of the world. I mean, we're pissed off about that, and everybody here is so conscious and aware of the craziness and the turbulence and the necessary shifts that are happening right now. But we were just sort of having a conversation that was really heated about people who are irresponsibly complacent. Right. Here, I'm gonna close that up. And yeah.
And they've given up on trying to reform, and they decide to blame people that are actually doing something for their lack.
Yeah, so I mean, like, yeah, we were just kind of talking. We're like filming ourselves, if you're listening to this on audio, so we're just like getting into the awkward phase of talking to each other with a camera right now. but yeah, so we're just gonna enter into this conversation as if we're not on camera. So yeah, you know, there's some people in this world, and we just got out of an astrology workshop, so like, let's just talk about the context.
The low vibrational frequency versus the high vibrational frequency.
Yeah, this astrology, teacher who was absolutely incredible. She was talking about how every single astrological sign, and if you don't believe in astrology, then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, because, like, what do you think about that? It's like,
it's an ancient thing, but it's divine, and if you don't believe in it, then you might want to check your sources, because you could be looking at something that someone wrote that might not know a lot about it, and also that you have to take into account your whole birth chart, not just your sun sign. And there's so much to it, and I just think that a lot of people that say it's bullshit are not doing their research, and they're saying no to something simply because it makes them uncomfortable. I think a lot of people are just kind of stuck in their own belief systems, and they're not open to change, and it goes along with that low vibrational frequency, the feeling of giving up. Or it could just be because maybe you had a bad experience with something spiritual and you don't want to get back into it.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of things, but I definitely believe in it just because there's been so many synchronicities with my life and just others that I know, and obviously it being intuitive helps with that.
A lot.
And if you're not a very intuitive person and you're more logical and reasonable, then you may not be able to resonate with it as much, which is cool. It's totally fine, but it's an interesting thing to get into if you like.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, we got Floyd County driving by, sheriff's office. What's up, homies? But yeah, kind of going back, you were saying you might not be doing the right research, or you're finding invalid sources. But I also think a lot of the part of astrology that people don't buy into is the fact that you, when you were born, have this snapshot, like she said, of the solar system and of the planets around us that pretty much defines your life challenges moving forward. And I think it's challenging to even talk about astrology in a vacuum from reincarnation, you know, because the way that she was talking about it was that
she said it was like a snapshot of heaven too.
It's like divine law. Yeah, it's she said that basically you chose to be here. And that requires some sort of understanding or belief system that is around reincarnation. But I think personally, because we have unresolved challenges from past lives. I mean, you had a past life sort of thing come up last night when the wolves were howling. I mean, but anyway.
And that was the first time, like I've thought before, maybe I've had a past life. I've had some clues of what I was like, but this was a very clear message, and this festival has definitely opened me up. It's a very high vibrational festival, and I've never been to one where I've felt this open and accepted, and I don't have to worry about like where I'm going to put my phone or anything.
Right.
It's just totally good karma, good vibes.
Oh my god, I wouldn't even call it a festival as much as I would call it a retreat. And it is a festival. I mean, you can hear the beautiful chanting going on. There's been these amazing workshops. Like today we did an acro yoga workshop.
Yes. And I was actually okay at that.
Yeah. it was interesting. So acro yoga is like acrobatic yoga, and so it's partner yoga. And if you have ever seen like Cirque du Soleil, you know, you have people who are lifting each other up with their feet, you know, like this and that. It'd be funny if we did one on camera, like without a spotter. I don't know, we could try it.
We could do the first one that we did with the hips.
Dude, I feel like that one's hard. The regal royal backwards royal position or whatever.
When we're both laying down.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that one was cool. It would show them what it is, but
yeah,
let's do that in another video. Maybe.
Yeah, we don't need to be doing all that. You don't need to see us do it until we're better at it, and then you might actually want to watch it.
Yeah,
it could be a blooper reel sometime.
Exactly.
But you're not supposed to do it without a spotter. But anyway, like, I thought the acro yoga was cool because it really required you to be vulnerable, because you were basically forced to work with people you didn't know. And people like it was interesting. We got paired with this man.
Yeah, they organized us by height, and I thought it was hilarious. I was the shortest one besides the children.
That's so weird though. Like, you're not even that short.
And then they did like a turn where they bent us and like, so we were all facing someone, and then they grouped us in 4. And I really liked my group. I was really comfortable with them. And like, at first it was like looking the guy in the eye. I was like, I wasn't expecting to do contact yoga with a guy this festival. And I did. And this whole time has been just like going out of my comfort zone, pushing my limits. And I feel like that's the best way to grow and evolve. And and like we were saying, it's not just helping us, it's helping the world by putting that good conscious energy into the collective.
Yeah, it's a group effort, okay? like I think it was the Dalai Lama who said that healing, like, in order to heal the world, the biggest thing that we can do is have more festivals. And like, the Dalai Lama said that.
Gatherings and just,
oh my gosh, community. Because that's how we started. I mean, if we're all one, does it not make sense that we are all communing with each other? I mean, that's, communion is like the same, you know, it doesn't have to be this thing in church that's formal. Like, communion is a sacred coming together of human beings for the sake of like remembering that we're humans and that we have things in common.
And also that we're not perfect.
Oh my
and that's
God,
something that I'm learning too, is that I have to stop being so hard on myself so that I can be there for others and actually give them my whole compassion. Because if you can't give yourself that, you can't give it fully to others. And that was honestly what helped me to change my mindset. And it's like Jean-Jacques was saying, this is what society should be like. We should be sharing. But the government should be a place where our money goes in to help us in every way. And instead it's been corrupt. But the original government should be, or was, to help the community, to go back, like to give money back so that you can, so that the flow could.
We had some sort of structure that put trust in individuals and committees of people. Like, if you look at, you know, Native American society, you have like the chief and you have the elders, and they've, over time, these people have gained our trust because they've been through rites of passage and they've done the work, the medicine wheel work that makes them elders, that makes them wise, and that, you know, they also recognize everybody's gifts and put them in a place of service. Everyone's in a place of service. Like, it's this whole like savior complex of like people who have it and people who don't, and like, you know, white people going to different countries to, God, Lord forbid, build a church, but, you know, like, even putting in drinking water systems, like, these things are great and everything, but a lot of times we just leave and don't come back and assume that we made a difference. But it's not about that. It's about
we
empowerment.
Need to have sustainability, and we need to have something that works and something that works well all the time.
All the time, in perpetuity. Yeah, that's what sustainability is. And honestly, like, it's crazy. Like, I feel like I live in such a siloed community a lot of times, and I think a lot of us here, unless we are in positions of work or service where we work with underprivileged people, we surround ourselves with those who, you know, uplift us. And I live in, you know, a town in North Carolina where, like, I walked into the marketplace, this like co-op, you know, and it's interesting, there's a food line and a co-op, and the co-op's significantly more expensive, but way better food, and the ratio of like white people to black people in there, or like people of color of any race, is so much higher there than it is in Food Lion. So it's just like really interesting that that's right in my backyard. But like I went in there and, you know, the cashier just makes a freaking comment about Trump. Like she's just like, yeah, well, you know, something about our president. Like, and I'm just like, I'm so like, and for a second it caught me off guard because I was like,
did you say something bad or something good?
Oh yeah, no, something bad. Like,
okay.
Like, you know, under the assumption that we all know that he's basically Hitler, and like, you know, we were just talking, I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying that. I don't think there's any exaggeration. But, you know, the fact that I'm in a community where people can feel safe to just say like, yeah, fucking shit, what the fuck, you know, like, but that's not the world. That's not the world at large. So like, even this small gathering is, you know, like Jean-Jacques was saying, our new acro yoga guru, who is hilarious and really amazing, that this is not, like, the world is not the place we want to live in right now. And this is not, I don't want to say this isn't real life.
I can't even look at Facebook, and I'm feeling the same way right now, because it's just, it's kind of like, I can't watch the news. It's like, I get the news. People tell me the news. I don't even need to watch it.
Oh my God, it's so true.
It's just, it's word of mouth is enough nowadays. And it's to the point where I have to focus on my own work and the work that I do with others. And it can't all be sunshine and rainbows all the time, but it shouldn't be like this.
No, it shouldn't. And we were getting pissed off earlier, like just talking to ourselves, like heated about, like, kind of coming back to what we were starting with, is that people want to like just see the darkness in the world. It's like either people, and these are people who are not doing the work. And by doing the work, I mean investigating your bullshit. Like, number one, investigating your fucking bullshit.
Taking accountability for what you
bring to this world that isn't helping. Because if you can look outside your window, and if you have any sort of connection with the outside world, which even if you were on a mountain by yourself, you could feel it and you would know something's going on. And you look out the window, like, would you be like, yep, I'm cool, like, we're fine, we don't need to do anything else? No. Every single person on this earth has work to do. Like, we know this.
And I think we're just so distracted sometimes. Like, a lot of my friends that I love to death are distracted, and it hurts me because sometimes you really just can't point out certain things that you know that they could be doing because they need to find their own path. But it is time for everybody to just wake up and realize that we need to raise our vibrations, and we need to start realizing what we can do, because it's going to take numbers. It's going to take more than just one of us. It's going to take more than just me and Kelly. It's going to take more than Floyd Fest. It's going to take
the entire, I mean, like, there is
enough to overthrow the evil, because we need to use peace. We can't use violence against violence. We can't just like sit there and post a tweet about how much we hate Trump.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? Get the fuck off Twitter.
Like, what is that even gonna do?
Yeah,
then you just go back to your distractions or whatever it is that you use. Like,
it's selfish. It's selfish. Like, it's absolutely selfish. If you are going through pain and heartbreak and sorrow, if somebody died, and I guess if somebody died in your family, like, definitely take time for yourself. If you're going through a relationship problem, I mean, no matter what.
It happens to everyone. It really does. But it's a matter of, like, being able to focus on your life and being able to focus on your relationship. Like, of course, when you're going through heartbreak, it's hard to concentrate on anything else. But think about it. Was that person... Is that person really worth all these tears? Like, as this person, like, and if they are, then find them and make it right and move on. Because
oh my God,
I am so tired. Like, I was caught up in relationship stuff for a while, and I feel like
people have been calling you all fucking weekend. Like, 3 of your friends have called you, and the theme here is that they've gotten themselves into deep shit. And yet they'll talk about it, they'll complain about it, and then they'll go back to doing the same exact thing that they're complaining about. What is that? You have maybe 80 years to 100 years on this planet if you are lucky and don't die of cancer or heart disease or a broken heart or a car crash. Like, there is no telling when you're gonna die. If you die tomorrow, and I have to ask myself this question, and I think it's really freaking cool that, like, we're 24 and 25 and having this conversation about how life is short, because there are elders nowadays like that are just like mothering our generation and saying, like, you need to wake up and realize this before we did. Like, there's no time to waste.
Yeah. And I think that us and older people are realizing things at the same time, because we are going through a shit collectively.
And there's a rising in consciousness. Like, there is, and that is
I think it's because it has to be. It really does. Like, it's the new age, and think of how fast we've moved. Think about when electricity was discovered. That wasn't even that long ago.
Holy
shit.
So think
about how fast we're evolving and how rapidly things are changing.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so true. And I think going back to distractions briefly, it's like we're so distracted by technology and this connection that we have on this like completely non-tangible substance of a network of like wires, and you do realize that like that is how the universe works. Like this technology can either break us in manifesting in a way that actually separates us, which is so weird, or we can be like
us kind of because it takes place of something more personal and more intimate.
It's a separate, it's like it divides us. So literally our phones divide us as much as they bring us together. And it's like, I feel like in a utopia there wouldn't be technology.
My friend the other day said, the best thing about not having my phone turned on is that people can't contact me. And I thought that was really funny because it was ironic. Like, that's why you want your phone to be on.
Right.
But it's also why you want it to be off. You do not need your phone all the time. Honestly, before this festival, I was worried that I was not going to have service and I wouldn't be able to call my boyfriend if I wanted to, or whatever. And I have not even cared about my phone. It's really just being around people that are helping your growth and helping your power. You don't need all those attachments. You don't need your safety blanket anymore. The more you expand your comfort zone and push the limits, the better you're going to be at life.
Yeah.
It's really great.
People are like, they try to, and I think people they distract themselves because they're bored or because they don't want to focus on something. But it's like, if you have something to do that fulfills you, you don't need your phone in your hand. You don't want it. You are completely engaged.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you go out of your comfort zone, is you are required to engage yourself in the experience. And you are depriving yourself of the human experience when you...
And you're narrowing your energy downward when you're looking at a phone instead of outward and like into everything. Like you're closing your chakras by being so focused downward, and you're also hurting your body.
You're hurting your body. I think that it is so interesting. Like the whole the fact that, you know, nowadays, like I went to college and I've been working, you know, in the world for a while, and that requires that you're basically on your computer every single day, and that takes a toll on your posture. Even if you start to become aware of it, you have so much work to do to get back to the place. And what happens is your shoulders round and your chest gets tighter and it closes off. That is your heart center. That is your heart chakra. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Like, that happening is a direct manifestation of the closing off of our hearts. That is a result of this technological society that we have created, but also has been created for us by the less than 1%ers who I cannot even wrap my head around why anybody would want to, like, take away, you know, clean water from people, or take away environmental protection laws. Like, I can't comprehend.
Or calcify pineal gland.
that was something interesting we kind of like were reminded of this weekend, was that, like, fluoride in your water. Like, the government knows what they're doing, and the more that you live in this world and, like, open your fucking eyes, the more you realize that quote-unquote conspiracy theories are closer to the truth than the quote-unquote truth. And like, what basically, it's fluoride and these minerals in your water literally calcify your pineal gland, which is the gland that regulates the third eye. and probably does some shit to your pituitary gland as well, which is what regulates your crown chakra on the top of your head that connects you to spirit. And honestly, like, I can feel this. Like, when I'm trying to open my third eye and like see in my mind's eye, I get headaches because it's like I'm trying to push past this barrier that I have not even put up for myself. That's bullshit. Like, we're being fed poison in our food. Like, they're poisoning all our food, and it makes me wonder what the people in the White House and all that crap eat. Do they eat that shit? They probably don't even eat. They probably just like are psychic vampires who get all their energy from, like, I bet you money. Like, what if money was literally their life force, and like they're these alien species who like literally
there are people
feed
that
off
think
money.
that they're reptiles.
Lizard people. I don't know. Shit.
I mean,
why not?
I think that's just like a way of saying, like, they're not human, they're not normal. Like,
no, that's
whether
that's
they're a
not
reptile
normal.
or not, it's not normal, but it's corrupt. It's what it is. It's greed. These people do not care about us. So.
Oh God, if anything, they care against us. You know,
Yeah.
it's like this. Like, if you are happy, then it's pretty bizarre. In some ways, it's kind of nice to think that there's like alien lizard people in the White House instead of humans, because it makes you have a little bit more faith.
It's disgraceful, but I mean, there's a really ugly side to being a human too, and if you can push past that and find your true spirit and reach your higher self, then your shadows will start to dissipate, you know?
Well, your shadow will never, like, yeah, your shadows will come up, and like, it's acknowledging these shadow selves. Like, you cannot have light without, like, I'm looking out right now, and over the entire day, like, everything's a metaphor. Like, the world is a metaphor. Everything's a metaphor. 22:22 is the time that's on the clock right now. And like, so at night we're in darkness, and people typically like go inside and they sleep, and your subconscious speaks to you in metaphor while you dream. And that's why, like, night is a really good time to do ritual, because it's this mysterious, like, magical time of like what's happening underneath the current.
Yes.
But during the day, as the sun goes, you know, from east to west over your head, you see the fact that, like, shadows at different points in the day get longer, shorter. When they're right over you, there's no more. And it's like this metaphor for...
Thank you for reminding me that shadows are deeper than just disappearing and reappearing. It's the angle. It's how you're viewing it.
Yeah, it's like if a light was shined upon you from an angle, what would it show behind you? And it's like turning around and being able to see that is wisdom. And they have what's called like shadow work in shamanic work that's like, it's deep, it's hard, it's painful. But in order to know your full self, you need to know what happens when the light shines down upon your pretty face and your awesomely beautiful body, you know? And it's deeper than that. It's really hard to even explain. But everyone knows they have a shadow self, because that's... But it should be your friend.
It comes up and it gets worse before it gets better, because you're realizing what's happening. When you shove things down, it might be like you're at a neutral place, but you're not sure what's wrong. And then eventually, when you start to like do your work, it comes up and it becomes really intense for a minute, and you have to process it, and it takes sometimes it takes slowing down your process and really feeling all of your feelings as deeply as you can, so that you can move past it and you can see a brighter future.
Yeah, it's like we're just water. We're water in space and stardust, which is like fucking beautiful. Like, is that not a miracle, fellow listener? You know, it's like get a grip. Get a fucking grip. Like, this is awesome. And we were just talking about, like, if this is the hell realm, then like there is room for improvement on this world. Like, this sucks in so many ways, but it's also beautiful. It's like beautifully painful, as that one guy, Dalian, would say.
And also what Dalian said was that sometimes people's karma is all bunched up in one place or one time. So if you're going through hell, keep going. There are better days coming.
Yeah.
You are not condemned forever. Don't give up.
No.
Because giving up is not going to take you to a good place karmically as much as, like, if you were to try, you know, and if you were to feel it and just be it for a little bit. And it's okay to feel. It's okay to cry, no matter what. It's always okay to cry.
Oh my God, please. We all need a huge purging, and I think like the concept of a great flood is actually really interesting, because I wonder if a great flood could also represent a great sadness, that a great grieving period that like all comes out of us at once, and we all just like release. And like, I've done some grieving ceremonies. That shit is crazy. Like, the kind of pain that you can feel when you start to dig into these tender spots, but there's still so much more.
We're about to do a ceremony at sunset.
We're gonna do a ceremony because it's a new moon in Virgo, and that means that it's a good time to set intentions for new daily routines that you want to get into, healthy foods, like good habits, and maybe a new job. So it's just really interesting timing, because I'm definitely getting into that stuff.
Even
right
just
now.
new thought patterns, just new mantras, new things to live by.
Yeah. So I guess to close out this 2626, I don't know what that means, but I guess to close out this, hallelujah, woo, sing it. To close out this, you know, awesome conversation, I think. How about, like, in the spirit of this new moon, of creating a new mantra for ourselves, like each of us can in this moment say like what our mantra is now, like in the moment, in the day, like just from our hearts, and whatever that is. And I have to think as well, because
love and accept yourself and do the same for others.
Honestly, I feel like my mantra lately has just been Om.
Yes, that's so good.
That's all it's been, and that's all I've needed, and it literally raises my vibration. Like
that is one of the best. It's like
it's the highest. It's God consciousness.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe in God, whatever.
But sometimes words aren't enough. Sometimes you need something else.
A sacred vibration, and just doing Om for 3 times, you feel a physical difference. So
really do, and your voice will start to change. And also just even chanting stuff, like look up chants online, your voice will start to change, and it will start to be rhythmic, and you'll start to feel yourself really get into it. Even maybe your accent will change. Like you'll start to tap into things that you never even thought you could reach. Yeah. Just by chanting, using sound.
Yeah. So maybe let's close out with a single Om, right? Okay, wait. Okay, let's take a breath in and then take a breath out. Okay, so in and then out. And then in, and then we'll Om on the way out. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to keep giving wisdom to the world.
Yeah.
In our in childish wisdom, because we don't know anything, but we do know something, and we love all of you.
And we love learning, and we hope you do too.
Yeah. This is XO.
Peace out.
Blessings, good vibes. Bye.